Welcome to St. Louis on the Air. I'm Sarah Fensky. Every month, our friends at Sauce Magazine bring us their picks for the best new restaurants. They look at places that have recently opened, give them a try, and present as many as a dozen picks every month. It's a great monthly cheat sheet for the curious diner. But what are the very best places they tried all year? If you don't have time to try a bunch of new eateries every month, what should you get to right now? Well, no need to wonder. That's our topic today. And here to share their top 11 list are three of our friends from Sauce Magazine. So, Managing Editor Heather Hughes, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And Managing Editor for Digital, Catherine Claney, welcome back to the show.
Thanks.
And Art Director Mira Nagarajan, welcome back.
Thank you.
Now, Heather, Sauce's year-end list has 11 restaurants on it, and I know from having been a newspaper editor, we always try to aim for a nice round number. You want 20, you want 10, sometimes you even want 15. How did you guys end up with 11?
Well, when we do our best new list every year, we decided when we launched that we weren't going to pick a particular number. Some years there are a lot of amazing openings and some years there are fewer, so we decided to let the restaurants decide. These are the places that we would just wholeheartedly recommend without too many caveats every year. So we've had 11, 10, 12, 9, and this year 11 again since we started.
So this follows the format. Catherine, how heated were these discussions?
They're very intense in our offices. So we have a list. When we're starting to plan this out, we write down all the potentials on Post-it notes, and we put them on our table. And the amount of grabbing and slapping Post-it notes on and off the list is insane. There's pretty intense debates in our office about the merits of each restaurant. It's pretty fun.
Mira, is the hardest part narrowing it down, or is the hardest part saying, okay, who even deserves this great honor?
I think putting who gets to be on the list is the hardest, but then after that, the ranking definitely becomes the biggest debate because there's so many things to consider, and I think everybody has their opinion about what deserves to be number one or number two or number three. So I feel like we do have a lot of debate about the ranking. That's the hardest.
Well, we're happy you guys have sorted this out for us. So let's get right into that ranking. Let's go with number 11, and that is
Sultan Mediterranean Restaurant. So this is located in the Grove. It is the first restaurant from Janar Mohammed and Akram Saeed, and they are doing some really phenomenal Middle Eastern food. There's been a lot of talk about their dish called the Sultan Pilau, which is essentially a phyllo pastry dome that is filled with perfumed rice, lamb shank, vegetables, and nuts, and it is phenomenal. It's probably one of the best dishes of the year. It's a really, really great dish. But the atmosphere is really nice. Everyone's very friendly when you go in, and just dish after dish is just perfectly executed. They're a really fantastic place.
So that's number 11 right there in the Grove. Heather, tell us about number 10.
Number 10 is the Midwestern, which is right by the ballpark. This is from the guys who run the Wheelhouse, and the executive chef and part owner is Ben Welsh, who used to own Big Baby Q. So the barbecue's outstanding. We've mentioned him before. I particularly love the poultry that he does. I think his turkey is really good. But we were really blown away by a lot of the dishes that aren't just basic barbecue. Like we got a tartine that was incredible, and they're going to cut those from the menu, but they'll still be on brunch. So don't worry, you can get a tartine.
Still get your tartine.
Yeah. We got an incredible salad. They're just dishes. The burger's really, really good. So it's not just the barbecue that will get you there. They also have a great bar program led by Tony Saputo, which is who used to be at the Benevolent King. He's very, very good as well.
And how nice to have something that elegant in the shadow of the baseball stadium.
Yeah.
You can actually get a good
classier
cocktail before the game. Mm-hmm. So that's number 10. Number 9, The Last Kitchen. Mira?
So this is in the Last Hotel, and Evie Swoboda, who is one of our ones to watches, she is the chef there, and she's doing really great. She was at Pastaria before, so some of her pasta dishes, like the pesto pasta, she has like a grown-up garlic noodle pasta dish. Both are delicious. And there's a steak sandwich that is insanely popular at our office.
We could not stop talking about the steak sandwich.
We still talk about it.
And it's a beautiful atmosphere. You know, the Last Hotel has like a beautiful style. It's got a lot of mid-century modern furniture. Service is really nice. It's a beautiful atmosphere. So I feel like the menu is kind of like, if you order off the bar menu, it has a really curated list. So it's not like a ton of stuff going on. But I think everything that we tried there was really great. We had this toasted ravioli with boudin inside and a beautiful dipping sauce. And we tried, everything we had food-wise was really great.
That's awesome. So then let's zing over to Cherokee Street. Heather, can you tell us about number 8?
Yes, number 8 is Morning Glory Diner. This is in the former Vista Ramen space, so we honestly had some feelings about that. It had to overcome to begin with.
People were so sad about Vista Ramen closing.
It's like you're on the bones of my favorite place. But Ari Jo Ellis is the owner there, and she has done a fantastic job. It's just all the food's really simple. It's not like a small platey kind of a place. It's just a diner. We had an incredible chicken and hotcakes dish. They have a slinger. The breakfast sandwich is it's just a fried egg. It's on white bread. It's kind of everything you want from a diner, done really, really well and at an affordable price. So we'll be there a lot.
This place just blew me away. It really did, because I think when I saw that we were going to a diner, I just didn't have high expectations. And it's just the idealized image of a diner. There's like a formula for what makes a diner good, and they looked at that and they just try to perfect it on every level. It is such a pleasure to go in there. I love that diner.
Well, that's a rave for Morning Glory Diner. Catherine, tell us about number 7.
Sure. So number 7 is Alta Calle, which opened on South Grand. So the big thing with this place is Chef Teo Carrion, who's best known for his work at Nixta. He developed the menu when they opened, but his role was always as a consulting chef. So we knew he'd leave eventually, and the question was, could they maintain that level of excellence after he left? And the answer is definitely yes. There are just so many surprises in these dishes, and they're all traditional Mexican dishes, but there's unexpected options. Like there's pops of pickled things throughout. There's so many edible flowers and these herbaceous garnishes. They serve margaritas with lime foam salt foam on top instead. So it slowly melts down into your drink. There's all these unexpected surprises. The shrimp taco seems so simple, but was by far one of our favorite dishes of the year. Everybody at the office that tried it absolutely loved it. It's just the perfect balance of, I think, Mira, you said it's pretty much the perfect balance of acid and shrimp and what you expect and what you don't. It's fantastic.
It's got this tortilla with cheese melted on it, and it adds the structure because there's a ton of stuff in the taco, from pickled vegetables and these big shrimp in there and this beautiful sauce, and you would think it might fall apart, but they've constructed it. It's a feat of engineering.
Even things like chips and queso. We could not stop raving about the chips and queso, which is such a basic thing, but the chips are just the right. They hold the queso perfectly. The queso is the perfect texture.
And they put all these beautiful oils. So it's got like this pink oil and a chili oil and an herb oil, so it's like lovely to look at.
And the service is great. It's friendly. It's an excellent restaurant.
So Alta Calle on South Grand sounds like our listeners may want to get there. Now, number 6, we finally got a restaurant in the county.
Yes. This is a car in Clayton. It's Bernie Lee, who used to own Hero Asian Kitchen. It's his sort of, I think I called it a love letter to his past in the feature. It's him cooking the food he wants to cook in a teeny tiny space, and decorating it beautifully. It's a very pleasant place to go. Again, it's tiny, so to get a table, you have to really try. I went in the summer, and they have a patio which sort of doubles the seating, which is nice. But I was just shocked by how good the service was for something that could be just a takeout spot because it's so small. And he's doing things like lobster rangoon with a mango sauce, and it's where most rangoons are just all cream cheese. This is huge chunks of lobster in it. Everything's done really well. It seems like a labor of love for him.
Now, our number 5 restaurant, this is Rockwell Beer Company. It also, here you're ordering at a counter. It's a very busy place where people are there to drink beer, but you guys are saying top 5 restaurants in the area.
We've gotten some pushback on this one, and it makes me kind of upset because people are like, okay, this is Braswell. It's sort of brasserie food. The food station inside the brewery is done by Gerard Kraft, and it was based off of his happy hour brasserie menu, which is burgers and brats. But at this point, saying that is basically saying if a chef has opened a restaurant before, they shouldn't count on this list because the menu is completely different. They have a fried chicken sandwich. They have just perfect French fries. The burgers are so good. I'm sorry, I got passionate about that.
Yep.
The beignets.
Yeah.
The beignets are perfect. They have specials. They had a fried fish sandwich during Lent that was by far the best fried fish sandwich I've ever had in my life. So we go there. This is the restaurant that I've been to more than any other by far on this list in the past year. just for the burgers alone. But the brewery is also fantastic. And the service there, you order at the bar and you pick up the food at the station, but everyone is super professional and helpful. They bust the tables really well. It's just a great place to hang out.
So that's Rockwell Beer Company right on the edge of the Grove. Mira, number 4, the Central West End, Bait.
Bait. So this restaurant is a seafood-centric restaurant, and the chef is Sierra Jackson. She was at Fleur de Lilies before. She has a lot of experience with working with Creole cuisine. And the space was a residential space, and they transformed it, and it still has that kind of laid-back vibe. It's like, I describe it as going to your fancy friend's dinner party, and that's really the feeling of it when you walk in, and it's just like really warm welcome, very good service. I think the design of the restaurant is really beautiful. They play 90s R&B music, but the food is amazing. I mean, all of the seafood is perfectly cooked. It's just amazingly fresh, perfectly executed. My favorite dish was the sea bass, and it had this, it was sitting on this bed of vegetables and this bechamel sauce. It's just like, it's the kind of food that you want to be able to make at home, and you probably have tried so many times, but
you can't.
You cannot do it. It's just perfect there.
We've got 3 more restaurants to get through. Heather, number 3, Bull Rush.
Bull Rush is by Chef Rob Connolly. It is in Grand Center. It is one of the most unique restaurants this year. It's a tasting menu style place that also has a bar menu, but it is extremely specific in its concept. Rob Connolly is focused on 19th century Ozark cuisine. So they do a lot of foraging for weird stuff that's hyper-local, but then he's recreating it in a very artistic tasting menu context. This is one of the places where I ate bites of food that I had never tasted anything like it at all. It's strange, artistic, and just beautifully done.
That's Bull Rush right here in Grand Center. Catherine, Elmwood is number 2.
Elmwood is located in Maplewood. They've been open since about November of last year, and service is paramount here. That was I think the food is amazing, and we will talk about that, but the service here is paramount. Just everything from wine service to bar service is phenomenal. And then the dishes, almost everything touches the grill there. Chef Adam Altnether has done a really amazing thing. Broccoli Caesar, the mafalda, the mussels, everything is top-notch there.
And our number 1 restaurant, Indo. It sounds like you guys are all raving about this. Give us just the short reason why, Mira.
Well, Nick Bogner, we know him from Nippon-Te. We know that, he kind of came in, he was at Uchiko in Austin, got all this amazing experience and kind of transformed Nippon-Te a little bit, and then brought all the talent to Indo. And Heather wrote about it, so I think she should really
give us the quick version of why this is the best restaurant in the city.
The quick version is that everything he learned at Uchiko about the most perfect Japanese technique and product is combined with all of his experience in his family restaurants. He comes from a Thai family. They're making all their own curry paste, all of these things that take 2 days of process to make. You're not going to do it at home. You really, really taste the time that goes into it, and then he's still using perfect product. So it's just this combination that makes everything over the top good, from the short rib red curry, which is like really stewy, to the isan hamachi, which is like the best crudo dish in the world.
Well, so that's Indo in Botanical Heights. It's the number 1 restaurant of the year from our friends at Sauce Magazine. So Heather Hughes, Mira Nagarajan, and Catherine Claney, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
This is St. Louis on the Air on St. Louis Public Radio, 90.7 KWNU.
Support comes from the Missouri Forest Products Association, providing more than 41,000 jobs in the production of wood pallets, railroad ties, white oak barrels, hardwood floors, and more. Details at choosewood.com.
St. Louis Public Radio's The Gateway gives you the day's news first thing every weekday morning. From the ever-evolving relationship between St. Louis City and County to developments in the Missouri and Illinois state capitals and reports from our correspondents in Rolla and the Metro East. We put it all in a roughly 10-minute package with clarity and context. Download The Gateway wherever you get podcasts.